Plenty more reaction from an emotional day at Lord's for James Anderson. Let's first, though, concentrate on the countdown to the final of Euro 2024 between Spain and England. Gareth Southgate's preparations are coming together with just over 2 days to go. Joining us now is former England striker and Sky Sports expert Alan Smith. Alan, great to speak to you. Good afternoon. How are you? How are the nerves?
Yeah. Nerves are okay. I'm not playing. Although when kick-off time comes, Teddy, yeah, I think anybody who wants this side to do well will be nervous, because we've been in here before, haven't we, against Italy, and it didn't turn out how we wanted it to. But hopefully it's going to be different this time. Yeah,
hopefully it starts the same way as that match, but not ends that way for sure. What have you made of England's performances overall? Do you share the sense that they're hitting form at just the right time?
Well, it's looking that way, isn't it? Certainly against the Netherlands, it was their best performance by far in that first half, particularly when it looked much more like it. Our creative, dangerous players were dominating. The likes of Foden, Kobbie Mainoo, Bukayo Saka, getting on the ball, making things happen, looking threatening in a way that we haven't really been up until that point. But it's been incremental, hasn't it? We are growing into this tournament, hopefully at just the right time.
How special a moment as a former striker and an England striker was it for Ollie Watkins getting that winner over the Netherlands? Could that give a lift to the whole squad as well, just the nature of the way they won that game?
Oh, definitely. And to see the look on his face when he saw that the ball had gone in the net, it was priceless, especially when you consider where he's come from, you know, Torquay, Exeter, all of that. He's had to graft to get where he is, and what a finish. I mean, it wasn't just a tap-in, was it? It was one of the best goals I'm sure he's ever scored. Definitely the most important goal he's ever scored. And he will never forget that moment for as long as he lives. So I'm so chuffed for him. But let's hope he has, you know, one more moment or two on Sunday. But it's great to have somebody like that in your team. He looks like a great tourist in training. He's been shining, trying to catch the manager's eye, and he certainly did it when he got on the pitch the other night.
He certainly did, isn't it? It's a great bench for England. Talking of benches, you used to be a great option for England as well. Graham Taylor famously substituted Gary Lineker for yourself when England needed that goal to stay in Euro 1992. Gareth Southgate, Alan's been criticised for being slow to make substitutes in this tournament. Do you think with the Watkins and Cole Palmer coming on Wednesday night, particularly withdrawing Harry Kane, was Southgate vindicated in that? How brave was he?
Yeah, I think he obviously was vindicated because of what happened afterwards. Palmer passing to Watkins. And as you said, Teddy, yeah, to bring off Kane, the captain, and Phil Foden as well, who had an excellent game, it took a little bit of bottle. So fair play to him for that. We all know the criticism that's existed over the last few years, but to have this kind of choice that we're seeing here is a marvellous thing for any coach when he looks over his shoulder and he sees a couple of those champing at the bit, ready to come on to have an effect on a match, as Ivan Toney did in the previous game, you know, and it's great that they both had a touch of the ball.
Absolutely, different options there. We all expect Harry Kane to start nonetheless. Do you expect England to stick, though, with the same starting 11, assuming that everyone's fit, or could Southgate perhaps be tempted to put Luke Shaw in from the start, goal scorer in the last final, of course, 3 years ago?
Yeah. I think he will be tempted, Teddy. He's been talking about his fitness and suggesting that maybe he's ready to start now, and we all know it would give the side much more balance. Kieran Trippier's done a really good job filling in there, but it has looked awkward going forward, particularly. And as you say, Shaw's been there, seen it and done it. So that would be the only consideration, I think, who plays at left back stroke left wing back, because you'd imagine he'd stay with that back five. So, yeah, apart from that, every other position, I think, speaks for itself. And Kane, yeah, he will start once more.
Indeed, who plays down that left will have to contend with Lamine Yamal, won't they, as well? So a big defensive effort. Talking of defensive efforts and containing Spain, there's been some talk of perhaps Jude Bellingham having to maybe sacrifice some of his attacking game to stop Rodri bossing the midfield. Is that something you see? How do you see that area of the pitch in terms of importance?
Well, it's the big strength of Spain's, isn't it? When you think of Dani Olmo and Fabian Ruiz as well. It's a heck of a trio that works well, really. together. So yeah, Jude Bellingham has had slightly underwhelming tournament, hasn't he? That overhead kick apart. I think we all expected him to come in and dominate it the way he has in a Real Madrid shirt, but it doesn't always work out that way. But yeah, there might be that kind of defensive aspect in mind for him, or Phil Foden, whoever plays in that position around Rodri. But that's an area of the pitch, I think, where we would be hoping to try and get hold of that ball and dominate. I mean, we had 60% of the possession, didn't we, against the Netherlands? Yeah. It's going to be hard to have that the same against Spain. But we've got the players to do it. And yeah, that central midfield area is a key battle.
And what have you made as well of Spain and their exciting young wingers like Yamal and Nico Williams? They're throwbacks in a way, are they?
Yeah, brilliant. They keep the width, don't they? They want to attack the fullbacks. There's no fear there. Two lads coming into a tournament for the first time. Two lads that maybe a lot of people in England hadn't heard too much about, but they certainly know all about them now. So it's been great to see. I mean, for a 16-year-old to take to the task the way that Yamal has done, it's been just spectacular. So, yeah, I mean, if Luke Shaw does come in, he's got a battle on his hands, hasn't he? And likewise, over on the other side for Kyle Walker, you'd imagine, with Nico Williams or Saka. But it's been very fluid, hasn't it, the system for England? It can so easily just flick into a 4-4-1-1, if you like, from that five at the back. So that versatility is a great asset for Southgate to have.
Yeah, we talked about Spain's strengths as well. Obviously, they've won all their games, been impressive. But do you see any weaknesses that perhaps England can exploit?
Difficult, really. You know, they've done pretty much everything you would ask them to do defensively. They've got a good record, a few clean sheets there. I mean, Alvaro Morata, the centre forward, he does attract criticism, quite a lot of criticism in Spain. He didn't do too well at Chelsea, but again, he can look flaky, but then he can pop up and score a goal. He's just got that knack. Quite often he's substituted, but yeah, it's difficult really to pick out too many weaknesses within the Spain team. But like any side, there are some if you can get at them and do the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Alan, what do you think of the threats or the potential for Gareth Southgate? His final game in charge of England, some people are suggesting come what may. Do you think it will be, and how will he be remembered?
Well, I'm reading that the FA would like to keep him, and you can understand that because you look at the alternatives and there aren't hardly any options for the FA. The question is, would Gareth want to stay on? If they win it, if we win it, you'd think he'd want to have a little go at the World Cup, wouldn't you? So that might be a temptation for him. If we win it, I hope he does stay on. I think if we lose, he would definitely walk. But if we win it, I think that, yeah, he might just be tempted to go another couple of years and see what that brings. But he will be regarded as one of the best England managers because of the finals and semi-finals that we've reached, and we almost take that for granted now, which it was something that we aspired to previously, but it's become an expectation. And you could argue, yeah, with the players we've got, it should be an expectation, but it's easy to forget the state that the England team were in after that Iceland defeat in France and what he's done since. So I do hope, actually, he stays on.
Alan, have we underestimated his tactical savvy as well? There seems to be a sense that the success has come from just curating a nice atmosphere in the camp. But when he talked after the Netherlands game about the multiple shifts that went on through that, the battle with Koeman, do you think perhaps we do underestimate that side of his management?
Perhaps. I mean, Steve Holland, as Gareth has said this week, he's a great ally, a great wingman. He's probably more of a tactician than Gareth is. Both on the training ground and during a match. But between them, they're singing from the same hymn sheet, which is always vital for a manager and coach. But yeah, I mentioned earlier that tactical versatility, which you've got to have at this level. And I think we've shown that as this tournament has progressed. At the start, there was a fear, there was a kind of lack of structure and cohesion. But now, the confidence, you know, that's vital in any situation. But yeah, together, I think they make a good team.
Absolutely. All good so far. What are your plans for the game on Sunday?
Well, I'm away at the moment, so I'll be watching it from south of France. But I'll definitely be watching it. And just hoping for the best. As I say, we've been here before and it's ended up in disappointment. I hope we've moved on from that stage now, and say if we get that early goal, the way Luke Shaw got that early goal, we can then go on and not be quite so cautious, go on and take a grip of the game, hopefully get the second. But as I say, for most of those players, this isn't a surprise. This isn't uncharted territory, which is a great asset to have. We've maybe, I don't know, got a few more players that have been in this position than Spain have got. So maybe that will tell in the end.
What would your final message to the England team be, Alan? Would it be emphasising that point, the experience and the quality?
Yeah, and don't get overawed by the situation. Don't think too much about, we can make history here. Go out there, think about your individual jobs, about getting the better of your individual opponents and working on the structure that you've been sent out to do. Concentration, obviously, is vital. Try and loosen up, try and enjoy it. Just give it your best. You might never be in this position again. So 90 minutes, 120 minutes, give it your all.
Well, Alan, thank you very much for joining us. Hope you enjoy it there in the south of France. And thanks for taking time out to speak to us this lunchtime.
Thank you, Teddy. Cheers.